Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about 10 coins that should potentially be in your portfolio. Not all of them obviously, but here's 10. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel and obviously the video. If you're new, subscribe, bell button, leave a like. Now we're going to talk a lot in this video. Might be quite a long video. We're going to go over like 10 things. Obviously, we're going to talk about the obvious as well in terms of Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. But a lot of people are asking me, what's a good core hold? What's something that you can hold on to, not worry too much about it, and just hope that over time, with its development, with adoption effect, it would do all right. And I've picked out 10. Now, I know there's probably, I think I did a little count not too long ago. I think there's 109 coins I could have picked for this. I'm focusing on layer 0, layer 1 sort of things. Layer 0 is like Polkadot where you can build on top of it. Whereas layer 1 is like, it's got scaling solutions within it for people to join onto it. Basically like dApps and smart contracts, etc. Right? Make sense? Hope it does. So we're not talking about layer 2 solutions for the layer 1. We're talking about blockchains. We're talking about big projects that could do well. If they've got sharding involved, if they've got smart contracts, if they've got other scalable solutions within the chain, that's good, right? Cool. So let's talk about it. If you've not yet done so though, by the way, before I crack on, check out Patreon. I'm going to be doing some more videos over the weekend, just for them only. Passive income is on the agenda. Now, first question you're probably asking, Bitcoin or Ethereum? Well, personally, I stack Bitcoin. The way you can stack Bitcoin for me is using the dominance chart. When the dominance obviously changes, you can get more Satoshis. If it goes either way and against you, you can lose them. You can do the exact same thing with Ethereum, using the BTC dominance for BTC, using the Ethereum dominance for Ethereum. So if you're thinking, I've made loads of Ethereum here because the Ethereum dominance has changed and it's allowed me to grow, that's good, right? Yeah, it makes sense? Cool, happy days. Right, first one. First one on the list is number 3, Cardano. Now, some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, is it a thing that you could probably hold on to and be quite happy with? Well, most likely, yes. Smart contracts are coming. That would give it a very, very big capability, which will allow it to kind of probably shine pretty much in its own right anyway, regardless of the price. Now, yes, in terms of marketing, they've marketed it very, very well. However, just be careful. It's at a very, very high price point. As I said throughout this video at the start, there's a lot of coins I could have featured. There's a lot of coins that I don't have to feature, but I thought I kind of have to feature this one realistically. So again, this is not a complete list of what you should be holding. This is more like a reference point of some projects that could do well because they've got the good team, the marketing structure, they've got an actual blockchain that actually physically does work, they've got a good roadmap, and they've got a community. This is kind of the realm of everything that I'm going on basically. So for me, if I was to pick one coin, maybe, you know, a lot of people are already in this. I know that with my channel. This is probably one that you could probably take a little bit off the top and leave a good consolidation bag into the staking, because the staking rewards on this isn't too bad neither. So that's number 1. Get that one out of the way. Very, very simple. The next one is actually Solana. Now, again, it's done incredibly well. It's kind of obvious it's done very, very well. But we're going to be realistic here. A lot of people are now touting this to be an Ethereum killer. Is it? I don't know, right? I don't like using the word killer that much. I know I've said it in scalability, certainly for a few projects. But this is really, well, realistically, you got to think, this is the most realistic we've got to Ethereum, basically, and it smashes it in terms of scale. When you look at this alone, this little green band of how much it costs per transaction versus how much transaction per second, what Ethereum is currently running right now, chalk and cheese, it really is. It's different. It's massively different. And you got to think that market share is slowly, in my opinion, decreasing on Ethereum. Yes, we are growing overall as a market cap of the entire industry, but the big reason for that is because Solana has came from literally the floor to the fucking sky in a matter of months, and it's done incredibly well. It's the one that I've looked at investing. I didn't invest in because I went quite heavy on Polkadot, which is fine. I'll explain about that in a minute. But realistically, when you think about it, you know, there's going to be multiple opportunities out there. You've got to find the right one. So if you've been holding Solana and you've been sitting in for quite a while, you're probably pretty flush. And again, you could probably get some nice little profits out of that long term, because I think this is going to continue to grow personally because of, you know, people are choosing to use it, which is massive realistically. Next one, now, I kind of just mentioned it, is Polkadot. It's technically a layer 0 if you're going to argue what is it. Substrate blockchain framework. At the end of this video, I'm going to reveal one of the coins that I'm looking at going into in terms of the crowd loans, which is going to go on this, which is a game changer in my opinion. Stick around for that one. Now, this is a bit different. I've explained it on previous videos that this is not like a dApp builder. This is, as I say, Substrate, the framework, the parachains, the relay chains, interoperability. This is basically blockchains building on a blockchain. This is the provider, this is the hub. And I often use like the terminology, I'd rather buy the hay bale than look for the needle in the haystack or the hay bale, whatever, right? Realistically, a lot of people are looking for those little needles of really good dApps that are built on Ethereum, for example, right? I want to buy the full Monty. I want to buy fucking this, right? Why? Because big projects are going to be developing and building within, right? So basically they'll have their own blockchain and they'll plonk it on this. Simple as that. Interoperability, token flow, all that good stuff. But you've also got the fact that they can have a dApp builder that could essentially build like Ethereum, which is going to get multiple loads of projects on it. So this is the start of it, then you got the head of it, and then you got the entire body of it. Does that make sense? This is where it all is. This is the hub. This is unbelievable. So this is why I think network effect, perfect. Staking rewards, perfect. The team, I don't even have to mention the team. It's unbelievable. Basically the creator of Ethereum, essentially. It's out there to be one of the ones that could get the biggest network effect, in my opinion, because this is a multi-chain. If you think about it, you got Polkadot, you've got its own entity, right? That will then link to Ethereum, Solana, for example. Then you've got the Binance Smart Chain. Then you've got the likes of Atom, Avalanche, Kosama. It's getting pretty crazy already. You get the picture, right? Where is this going to go? Probably going to continue going up. So, Polkadot, kind of an obvious pick. That's why I like it. Next one, Avalanche, because why not? This is a one that's a little bit further down the tree, but at the same time of the same sort of ilk. Missed out on the ICO of this, bit of a shame really. But again, blazing fast, low cost, eco-friendly. You can see here, now this is going to sound weird. When you refer to this in real life, what would you rather do? If you were having a smart contract platform and you wanted to build a project, would you rather build an Avalanche, Solana, or would you rather build on the likes of Ethereum? I'm a fan of cheap. I'm a fan of convenience as well. Now, convenience is always good. You want something easy, but I also don't want to be paying too much for something that I can do elsewhere. This is where Avalanche and the likes of Solana come into this, where you can basically do a similar sort of like build on it, and you can do it much cheaper. This is what Avalanche solves, that problem. So for me, thinking about it long term, why not? Why would you want to, not go for that? And obviously, comparing to other blockchains, you've got it here. But at the same time, I don't know why they put Polkadot in here, because it's totally different. It's not the same thing. But if they wanted to put the likes of Solana in there, or if they wanted to put even the likes of One or Phantom or something like that, it would probably look better than the likes of Polkadot, for example. But anyways, enough of that. Also, this is really out of date. But at the same time, though, still, you can see the difference here. You can see the change, the transactional bias to it, how many bloody throughputs it is, the efficiency, the nodes, the proof of stake. It's a big thing, right? So for me, Avalanche should definitely be one that could well be on your list. Certainly if you're thinking of a sit and forget kind of element, which is kind of what this video is all about. Moving on to the next one. Now, I know I'm going through this at a rapid pace. Realistically, we're going to go with this one. Why? Because it's pretty much the same as Polkadot. Kosama is the sister chain, it is the wild cousin, it is the experimental chain, but it is its own chain in its own right? It is not a testnet chain. So if you're thinking what I just said about Polkadot, you could say the same thing for Kosama. They will often run as a sister chain to what is on the Polkadot chain, so the experimental side of it. But there's going to be projects in their own right going to be going onto this framework as well. The exact same element. So maybe this could do very, very well with some really good assets getting built upon it. Next one is an obvious one if you know my channel. And if we're talking sharding capability, the first one to really introduce it was Zilliqa. And again, starting to get some really good products on there now. You've probably heard of XCAD. I talked about it a few weeks ago. It's now popping off like a rocket. I've been critical regarding their website. It needs a change, but the technology is good. There's been teething problems with the blockchain, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, the ecosystem is growing. It's got fast sharding capability. It's got great marketing in terms of what they've got in terms of Zilliqa football stars, or Zil stars, sorry. So there's a lot of things going for it. It just hasn't had that network effect. So that may be a good buying opportunity potentially when you think of what I've already covered in terms of Solana, in terms of Avalanche, even the likes of Cardano. It could well rival those if you're thinking, transactional throughput and cheapness, because it is a really cheap blockchain as well. I think it's one of the cheapest blockchains you can actually build on, essentially, which is pretty good. So that is always a good sign. Now, we're going to go down to a weird sort of territory where I've not covered for a long time, is One Harmony. It's doing very, very well within its own right. It has to do well because it's another sharding blockchain that is very, very similar to the likes of Zilliqa. Now, again, similar sort of element. It's got a big ecosystem. It's going to be, building a cross-chain Ethereum element to it. So a lot of the Ethereum stuff and obviously Binance Smart Chain could breach upon this. But it's already got 65 apps, currently nearly 100 million in assets on free cross-chain bridges. Yeah, that's a good starting point. It will build like anything that's cross-chain, which is why I'm obviously so bullish on the likes of Polkadot and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things going on. This again, it has a bridge, it has layer 2 features within it as well. So it's got a layer 1 and a layer 2 within it, which is always good for obviously the cross-chain with the Ethereum, because it's not the greatest in the world. But at the same time, this could be one that could get really good network effect over time. And again, as you can see, our mainnet runs on Ethereum network. So you can see here, the interoperability of that is probably going to be pretty awesome longer term if you're thinking about it that way. Moving on to, getting interesting now. Been a while since I talked about LRUNs. I've talked about in terms of price analysis, but not fundamentals. Solid in my opinion. Another one that's very, very similar to the world of Ethereum. I like the website. I think it's pretty classy. But at the same time, you can stake this, and it is a highly scalable, fast blockchain platform for apps and enterprise use cases and new internet economy. So again, the builders, the developers, businesses, investors, ambassadors can build upon this. And it's got scale, it's got sharding capability, and the returns on the staking is relatively awesome, as you can see here. It's ridiculous, realistically. In terms of the staking, obviously the delegators and stuff like that, validators. So there's a lot to go on. Again, partners, stuff that's been built on it. Like anything, things will build. People will choose alternatives, which is why I'm not too massively, obsessed with putting capital into the likes of Ethereum, because I think that market share, even though they've got first advantage movement of the market, I do feel that a lot of people will go elsewhere, and this is another alternative where they can easily go to and pretty much do whatever the hell they want with it. Now, we're getting into the last two now. Phantom, we talked about this a couple of months back, saying it's probably a dark horse and it's done very, very well. The reason why I talked about it is because I'm an F1 fan, and I noticed that Pierre Gasly and I think the AlphaTauri team pretty much sponsored by Phantom. A lot of them are sponsored by Teslas, which I don't really rate. It's not in this video for that reason. But Phantom I do rate. I have them for a while, but it's one of those ones that I definitely missed the boat on. It's just one of those ones that just get away from you. Same with Solana. You can't have them all. But at the same time, well, it must be doing well today because the website's crashed. But at the same time, though, it has been doing incredibly well over the last coming months. If I show you the chart, actually, I mentioned this on Learning Crypto today. It's been, even that looks amazing, right? But if you go like back to a week, it's tiny, it's so little, but it's that adoption effect. Once the adoption effect kicks in and it goes for it, there you go. It just gets sent and it goes ridiculous. I think the website has literally died. That's another thing that annoys me. Sorry, guys, but same in a crash. When the market crashes, all the exchanges go shit. When a lot of exposure gets put to a coin or an asset, it dies. So you can see here how crazy it is. But again, it's very, very similar to a lot of the other dApp builders, but it's got full-on scalability, and you got the DAG element to it as well, which is always going to be interesting. So basically, this is a little bit different to a blockchain, but it's smart contracts providing the decentralized finance services for developers. So you can see here, when you're thinking about developers and decentralized finance, if you don't know what a DAG is, by the way, it's it's like an old school blockchain. It's weird. It's not a blockchain, but it's actually, yeah. Do you get the picture? Just read the first line of that. They are no blocks, unlike a blockchain. Instead, they are transactions that are recorded. So, ugh. I'm not very technical with that one, but you can see the picture, right? It's not a blockchain, but it you get the picture, right? Website, yeah, we go. So as you can see here, it's fast, it's got high throughput, and yeah, designed for smart contracts, digital assets, and dApp. So with the fast element to it, with how much scalability it's got in the DeFi world, this is the one that's doing very, very well. And as you can see here, the staking rewards are pretty decent too. Really see up to 13%, which is pretty solid. So again, if you're thinking sit and forget, good staking model, good team, good development, and overall a very good, well, it's a very good DAG, not a blockchain. Why not? Anyways, last one. As you can see, the trending Moon River. That's a hint to what it is. That bad boy. Moonbeam. It's not out yet, but let me explain what it is in brief terminology. This is going on Polkadot. This is going to be built on the Polkadot ecosystem, basically the substrate blockchain platform framework. And this is essentially like Ethereum. This is Ethereum 3.0, which will be put onto that chain. You've probably heard of Moon River. Moon River is the Kosama version. This is going to be the Polkadot version, Moonbeam. So, as you can see here, fully Ethereum compatible environment on Polkadot. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be ridiculous. I'm really excited about it. So I'll probably be looking at getting involved in the crowd loan. The crowd loan isn't out yet. I'm not sure what's happening. I probably will do a video on this in its own right because I'm looking to invest myself. But it looks pretty down heavy. It looks pretty much well backed already. There's a lot of things happening with it, but as you can imagine, right? This is why I said at the start. Polkadot is the starting point, the hub. When you get products and platforms and businesses or whatever you want to know them as getting built of this ilk on that using the substrate capability, it's going to get interesting. So we've already had this. This has already happened. Moon River, by the way, has done amazingly well. But I want to focus mainly on this. I think this will be, potentially it could be better than that for obvious reasons. But my opinion is simple, not financial advice. If this is going to be of the same sort of ilk as what Ethereum is in terms of on the Polkadot ecosystem, Polkadot's only going to go one way and one way only. Going to go up, isn't it? Because of the token flow. It's got a lot of things going on. And when you start thinking about how many assets, smart contracts, all these capabilities that allow a blockchain to flourish, and Polkadot is hosting this on their substrate technology, and this is going to be getting a lot of things built upon it, it's just going to be layers upon layers upon layers. So there's a potential opportunity. How crowd loans work in a brief summary. You have Polkadot, you put your Polkadot in the crowd loan. It is then locked away for a period of 48 weeks, I believe, and then you will get it back, but you'll also get a return of the token, the Glimmer token or GLMR token. That makes sense? Cool. Long video. Hope you have a cracking weekend.